the insiders, and man, are we excited to be here today.
It's a party, baby!
What's going on, everybody? Happy Sunday night, and welcome to our weekly wrap-up show where we talk all things wrestling that happened during this past week. Just got a chance to, I caught the beginning and the end of the Hernandez interview. I kind of had to stop and eat dinner in between, but seems like everyone enjoyed it, and I'm glad you all did. We did too. It was a really, really fun interview. He was fantastic. So, normally we interview people 15 minutes to an hour. He kind of stuck around for an hour and a half, and it was just, it just kind of flowed that way. And he was more than generous enough to share a lot of stuff with us, and that was absolutely fantastic. What a great guy, Jeff.
Yeah, that was a great interview. Really enjoyed that one a lot. I mean, that was very insightful, and hopefully everybody enjoyed it. I know we did.
Yeah, definitely. Absolutely. Some comments in the chat. I see Wes Heron says, that was an awesome interview. Keep them coming. Derek, thank you for that interview. Been in hard days. I found out that one of my uncles, my mom's brother, passed away. Oh, sorry to hear. That interview made me smile. Well, that's good. Any little thing that can do that for anybody is a great thing. And I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. So that's awesome. As far as tonight, you know why we're here. We're going to talk about the headlines. We're going to talk about the things that are happening out there, and yeah, everything we do. We've each got. I've got a very small grievance. Jeff has one that he's wanted to do for a couple of weeks now. So we will have grievances tonight. I mean, hey, 'tis the season. It's
Festivus.
It is the season. Yes. So we'll have that. We'll have some debates. It's a whole thing we got going on here tonight. Same thing that we do all the time. So, so we'll start off. We'll welcome some people in. We'll go over what we've got coming up. Obviously, tomorrow is Monday. No Abby's tomorrow. So Abby's is canceled tomorrow. Jody has to work, unfortunately, so there will not be Abby's tomorrow. So we will be back, of course, on Thursday for Impact Wrestling, and that will be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then we'll let you know about Saturday. I'm bummed, to be honest, and I don't usually get bummed for buying tickets to a movie, but Spider-Man's out this week, as probably many of you know, and I'm a big geek nerd, and I have tickets to see it on Saturday, and I totally forgot that was that throwback pay-per-view. And so I'm upset about that because I really wanted to see it because I haven't seen it. So we'll let you know what we're going to do with that. If Jeff is, anyone else is available, we'll get our schedules together and we'll let you know what we're going to do on Saturday. Then, of course, we'll be back next Sunday. And then we've got pay-per-views coming up, of course, early in January and stuff like that. So January starts off very quickly. All right. Let me welcome some people in, and we will get started. Tazzy's first. It's an insider's party, baby. Yes, it is. Welcome, Tazzy. James Chadwick, what's up, James? Of course, Derek, I said. Wes Heron, I talked about you. Hello, Azan. What's up, Azan? Jason, peace. Good evening to you. We've got Big Dan. Well, hi, strangers. The Mega Powers are, ooh, yeah. Are reunited. Missed you guys. My Raiders stink. Yeah, I was a little nervous about the Cowboys. We, looked pretty good. Defensively looked really good. The offense, not so much. But I was a little nervous at the end. A little nervous. Do you think he goes to AEW or Impact? I'm not sure who you're talking about, Dana. Who? Jason Stoffer. What a great interview. Thank you, Jason. Glad you enjoyed it. Dalton just dropped by to say, duh, Bears. Yeah, I think your Bears might be in a bit of trouble tonight, Dalton. A bit of trouble. Rest in peace to Vicente Fernandez, one of the greatest singers in music history, and an icon in Mexico. The king of Mexican mariachi music. His music transcends generations since my grandparents' days. Well, that's cool. Well, I mean, it's not cool. Rest in peace, obviously, yes. Dana, Jeff, your football team, that got really close. They were up like 27-10 when I checked it last. So that really got close down the road.
Went to overtime.
Did it really? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
Bucks won in overtime 33-27.
Wow, dude. That's crazy. Yeah, that was a blowout. And I mean, Buffalo is fighting for their lives. So they were everybody's Super Bowl pick this year. Bonkers LFC says, good interview. Thank you very much. Joe, which place are you? If I win this week, I think I'm a game back of making the Final Four. So after starting 0-6, I've won 6 in a row. And so if I win this week, I'll be 7-6. And yeah, I actually have a chance to make the playoffs, which is crazy. Hey, Graham, how are you? Hey, Brittany, what's going on, Brittany? Brittany, of course, is the one who got us in touch with Hernandez. So thank you for that. Deanna Grinchmas. What's up, Deanna? How are you? Go see. Yeah, I can't miss that. I mean, usually I'm the one who gets tickets to opening night. I couldn't because it went on sale at midnight. I had no idea. And by the time I got in, every site for movies crashed. They all were down and I couldn't get in. So the next morning when I got in, there were seats open for opening night, but they were all front row. And I will not ever sit in a front row seat in the theater. It's horrible. So I'm like looking like this the entire time. It's like, no. So I passed on it and I just said, screw it. Well, I just said, and going on Saturday. So the thing is, for me, and you guys all know me, I'm going to have to avoid spoilers because that comes out in England first. So there are going to be spoilers everywhere. So it's to the point where I'll literally not be able to look at Twitter because it'll be everywhere. It'll literally be everywhere. And so it's going to be hard. It's hard for me because I like spoiling stuff, especially for myself. Dalton says, I love Abby's. Yeah, unfortunately, like I said, Jody has to work. So it happens. What are you going to do? Work comes first. So excited. UK gets it early. I know. Bucks pulled it off barely. Hunter Iggy. Hello, Hunter Iggy. How are you? Awesome job in the Hernandez interview. Thank you, Chad. The Saints finally won a game. Yes, I saw that. 49ers won. Yes, saw that too. Hey, Conrad. Assigned seats in a movie theater. Yeah, you reserve the seats at the Cinemark that we have, which you can go right on and like pick the seats, which is awesome. I love that because you can sit where you want to, and I really like that. I'm a big fan of Cinemark. Hey, Mark, how are you? It was an awesome interview with Hernandez. Thank you. It's nice to hear stories of wrestlers from behind the scenes of what we don't see. Yeah, definitely. It's great for us too. Hey, Tammy Smith, how are you? Says I'm chilling. Take a 2-day social break. Yeah, I'm gonna have to because literally, like, if you go into Twitter, the first thing that comes up on your Twitter feed is current things, like whatever is trending, and the names of characters from the thing will be on there, and I know they will. So I'm gonna have to, if I want to not spoil it, I'm gonna have to. I'm watching your podcast on Facebook, Hayden Garrett. Well, thank you very much. Let's go Packers. King Reezy. Hello, King Reezy. All right. So let's get into it. We've got lots of stuff to cover. Let's see, Jeff, what's first on the menu here? Or do we have breaking news?
We don't have any breaking news, but
I mean, I guess we could talk about, did you get a chance to watch Ring of Honor?
I'll go ahead and skip to that one.
Okay.
Yeah, I have not had a chance to watch it.
Okay.
I must admit I didn't get a chance. I was going to today.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to listen. I don't want to spoil it for you. Let me just say it was fantastic. It was a really, really great show. There aren't many times when you can watch something in anything really and be a part of something that is going to be historical. This to me felt historical. It's the end of an era. Now, the good news is that afterwards they were saying, we'll see you in April. So a lot of people are kind of debating whether it's going to come back, but they did message see you in April. So hopefully they're going to retool, and they are going to come back. It's going to be very different because obviously they let the wrestlers out of their contracts and so on. So a lot of those wrestlers are going to be gone and probably signed somewhere else. But from the opening match to the end, that the fans had streamers. They were throwing streamers into the ring. They had to clean the streamers out a lot of the times. It felt like a celebration of a product. And yeah, Conrad, you described it exactly. You're happy and sad. And yeah, it was how it was. I love the clips, the vignettes that they got from the past people. And again, Jeff, I'm not going to spoil it for you, so I'm not going to blab as to who everybody was. Okay. But they were, they had a lot of vignettes from past people that were in Ring of Honor paying tribute. There were, I think I spoiled this for you already. So you're talking about this one. Roxy. Yeah. It looks like Roxy is headed to Impact, which is tremendous. She was challenged by Deonna Purrazzo after she won that title match, and Deonna came out and said, I want a winner take all. Stop calling me. I want a winner take all match with you. She said, after my match at AAA, I want a winner take all match. So whichever one of those women win are going to end up with 3 titles. They're going to have the Impact title, the AAA title, and the Ring of Honor title. Whoever wins that match. So that's impressive. And the fact that Impact looks like because she would have to be. She'd have to be on Impact. So the fact that they're going to have that is awesome. Yeah. And the other thing that happened was you had EC3 after his match was recruiting for Free the Narrative, which was awesome. He's coming out and he's telling people in there, all right, you guys have had it enough with these big companies and enough with all this. And he's recruiting people in the ring. And he goes, and all you have to do to free your narrative is beat Titan. Well, down comes Braun Strowman.
Yes.
And it was what an absolute amazing moment. Does he look amazing? He looks amazing. And he just cleaned house. He just absolutely cleaned house. So that was cool. Got a little promotion in for his Free the Narrative stuff, which we absolutely love. That was an amazing moment. And just the matches were great. All of them. And the fans were great. And the ending was tremendous. And Jeff, you're going to love the ending. And I'm not saying anything else. You're going to love the ending. But
I've kind of heard a little bit about the ending already.
It was an awesome night. It really was. It was an awesome night. I can't say anything bad about it. They put on a tremendous show, and it was a night for celebration of fans that have stuck with them, a celebration of the athletes there who had gone and come back and stuff like that. A celebration mostly, and I'll get to this in my grievance, of companies coming together. You had people from Impact, you had people from AEW, you had people from ROH, all coming together to send them off on a great note. And I loved it. I absolutely loved seeing it. I thought it was awesome. So if you guys got a chance to watch it, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, and you're a wrestling fan, a true wrestling fan, watch it. You will not be disappointed. And listen, I haven't watched Ring of Honor every week. I haven't watched it all the time. I watched the Pure tournament when that happened last year, and I enjoyed that. So I don't know the wrestlers as well as I know the wrestlers in Impact, but I had an absolutely great time. So if you're not, if you don't watch it, don't use that as an excuse. Literally go ahead and watch it. It was really, really, really good. And Jeff, I'm sure you're going to enjoy it when you get a chance to sit down and watch it.
I know I'm going to love it.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really, really good. So James Chadwick, yes, I know James was watching it because I was tweeting out, and James was like liking a lot of the posts that I was tweeting out. You can see it on our Twitter. I was putting screenshots and stuff up of most of the matches. So and most of the people that were coming on and talking about Ring of Honor. So it was definitely listen. It was a wonderful moment for what was a big company in a lot of wrestlers' histories. So great stuff. Yeah, great stuff. So again, if you didn't watch it and you're a wrestling fan, definitely check it out. Definitely check it out. So, okay, Jeff, let's go back into the thing. Sorry, we got a little bit away from there, but let's go to what we got first in the news.
Jeff Hardy. Obviously, that was the big talk of the week.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is first and foremost, this is unfortunate. Unfortunate, very unfortunate for him as a person, and that is how I'm going with this. What's also unfortunate is that on the socials, you are seeing this turned into company versus company. For God's sake, stop. Just stop. Nonsense. Don't. I mean, I've seen crap like he's doing this because he wants to get released from WWE. I've seen ridiculous. Listen, this is a person's personal life. This is something he's fighting. This is something he's fought all of his life. I first and foremost, even before above wrestling and everything like that, this is a man who has family, and we want him to be okay. And that's first and foremost. Some people were saying, well, WWE offered him rehab. Why didn't he take it? Jeff, you can comment on that because you did comment on it. I think I saw you made a comment on it on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, this is about him being okay, and a lot of times what will happen with this is that people are in denial and they don't think that they have as bad of an issue as it seems on the outside, that everyone's just saying this to be overprotective and, you know, maybe bring up past stuff, and, you know, it's really not that bad. You know, that's a part of the recovery process. In some cases, is denial. People are in denial. Family members can be in denial. That's just what it is. I mean, that's the main thing right now. And I someone asked me about this right when it happened, not someone on Twitter or anything, but they said, you know, what do you think about this? And I said, honestly, I don't care if I never see Jeff Hardy wrestle again. I just want him to be okay as a person.
Yep.
If he never steps foot in the ring again, as long as he's okay as a person, I don't care about the in-ring stuff. Because, and here's what I'm going to say, and this is me being on my soapbox because of the work that I do. We just lost over 104,000 people and counting this year from overdose. I want you guys to let that sink in for a minute. We lost over 104,000 people and counting due to overdose in 2021. That's not a milestone that we want to hit ever again. That's the most people we've lost in a year to overdose. So I just want Jeff to be okay, and it doesn't matter what the drug or, you know, whatever it is. I know a lot, you know, it was alcohol in his case, a lot in the past, but honestly, we don't want to lose our legends, and we've lost way too many legends too soon. So yeah, I just hope he's better as a person, and take whatever time he needs to take, whatever steps he needs to take, whatever programs, whatever it is, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely, Jeff. Great words. And I saw Jeff make a comment on it, and that's why I wanted him to speak on it, because obviously that's what Jeff does. That's his job, and he would know. I haven't been privy to it, so I can't speak on it. But yeah, look, like he said, first and foremost, you wish the man well. James Shattuck said, I saw a YouTuber had a video title called Jeff Hardy faked a relapse to get fired. See, that's what I mean. That stuff is garbage,
Idiot.
sheer garbage. And that person, literally, if you see, let me just tell you guys something. If you guys see stuff like that, you guys have power to do something about that. If you see that stuff on YouTube, report it. Seriously, report it. Go into the thing and report the video.
Report it.
Yeah, report it. Because if they get enough people that do that, they'll get that off. But it's ridiculous. It's clickbait garbage. That's all it is. It's clickbait garbage. So, that's ridiculous. And that's what I mean. Like this has nothing to do with anyone other than him and a very personal problem and issue that he's having. It doesn't have anything to do with wrestling companies. It doesn't have anything to do with hating on WWE. It doesn't have anything to do with any of that. It doesn't have anything to do with his storylines that he's being used. So much of this crap that I read over the past 5 days or so, and this just goes to show you where the socials have gone. And it's literally sewer stuff. It really is. And so why do you think? Jeff disappears from Twitter at times, and that I don't blame him. Why do you think he does that? It's horrid. It really, really is. And it's a real shame. A real shame. Jeff Hardy should call DDP for help. I think Jeff needs to turn his life around for his family. I'm worried that he will, I think following John Moxley goes to. Yeah, look, Dana, everybody has their own way and their own things that they have to do. But like Jeff said, for people like that, it's denial. A lot of it is you don't want to admit it. And that's, listen, even from me, when you had to learn the 12 step, I was in a health class once in college that dealt with alcoholism and the 12 steps, the recovery process and stuff like that. The first one is admitting that you're an alcoholic. And that's why when you see people go to these meetings, I am so-and-so and I'm an alcoholic. That's a part of the process. And if you're not past that stage, it's hard to get help. So, like I said, let's just hope and pray. And like Jeff said, listen, it doesn't even matter if he's in the ring anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. I don't care. You just want him to be happy, be healthy, be there for his family. Gene, hi, Gene. Here's the thing. Addiction is a disease. Full stop. No one should be saying someone is faking a disease to get out of a contract or obligation. It's like saying someone is faking cancer. Just don't. Agreed. It's garbage. Y'all know Mox is enjoying his time at home right now. He's been seen locally a lot. Jeff Hardy is one of the kindest souls in wrestling. He's universally beloved. The sport of wrestlers he's gotten is absolutely wonderful. Big E, Swole, Mustafa Ali, etc. Yeah, absolutely. It's hurtful, it's harmful, and the best we can do for Mr. Hardy at this point is support him, encourage him to get help. Yeah, absolutely. And I know you guys that come and watch us. Listen, I know you're all good people. And I know that, we never see any of you doing this kind of thing. It's the other garbage out there. But like I said, what I would tell you to do is if you see this kind of stuff, especially on YouTube, there's not much you can do on Twitter. If they start rambling on, with cursing or this or that, you can get them in trouble for things like that. But there's not much you can do. Twitter, they let anyone on Twitter. Let's face it. But on YouTube, you can. So if you see that kind of stuff, report it. Literally report it. Always got to be one in the crowd. Hello, Lord Zed. Thank you very much for coming. Someone doesn't like me. Wow. Shocker. Thank you for the comment, which has nothing absolutely to do with Jeff Hardy that we're talking about, but appreciate that. Okay. Moving on, shall we? What's up next?
All right, next we've got Gargano and Kyle O'Reilly contracts seem to have expired.
Yeah. So, listen, it looked as if they were kind of hugging it out. I mean, you saw Ciampa, and you saw, a lot of people kind of made it look like these two were gone. I mean, Johnny Gargano got attacked at the end, so you never really know. That could mean he's coming back. Now, the latest on it was that Gargano that his expired, and that he really didn't sign anywhere, that he's going to be a free agent. And obviously he's got a baby on the way, so he's going to go and spend time with the baby and things like that. So he's going to go be a dad, and which, hey, that's terrific. Congratulations to them. And and maybe he'll take some time off of wrestling, and then he'll come back with a new outlook and something new and different. Maybe he'll go somewhere else. Maybe he'll stay. Nobody really knows. Kyle O'Reilly, it kind of make a lot of sense. I mean, it would kind of make a lot of sense if he went to AEW. If he really is done and his contract is over, it would make a lot of sense that he'd go over there. I mean, you've got, James agrees, says, I see Kyle going to AEW. Yeah, listen, the fact that they've already got a lot of the Undisputed Era there anyway, I mean, it kind of fits in. So wouldn't be surprised if they grabbed him as well. But listen, there's been a lot of talk with all this free agent stuff that the coffers over there may be getting a little bit tight now. That some people are now starting to be let go from there. Big Swole was mentioned, so you may not see them snapping up these free agents quite a bit as much as we used to. So we'll see. We'll see. And now you've got this whole, bunch of talent from Ring of Honor out there too. So there's a lot of people, and in fact, they said it during the show last night that these people are fighting for their jobs, that they are, they're out there auditioning for what their next steps will be, which is probably true. So listen, wherever these two gentlemen go, Johnny is amazing. I know I was listening to Busted Open the day after this happened, and they, I think was it Bully Ray? It might have been Bully Ray who was saying, it was him and LaGreca, and I think LaGreca was the one who said that he would shell out money to make sure Johnny stayed there, because he said Johnny, I think, is that important to NXT. And he said, I get it. They're trying to go to the younger movement and all that kind of stuff. But he said, I think they should pay him what he wants to keep him there. Because he said, I think he's as big as a name. He compared him to Shawn Michaels. And he said, I think he's as big as a name as Shawn Michaels was for the WWE way back when Shawn, was in his heyday and stuff like that. He said, and he compared him to, he thinks he's that important. So we'll see. We'll see where it goes, Jeff. I don't know. I mean, where do you think these guys end up?
I mean, I think O'Reilly probably ends up in AEW, and I think Gargano ends back up at NXT or WWE.
Yep.
Would just be my sense of it. With AEW, you can't sign everybody, and you have a loaded roster right now, and unless you start unloading that roster, it's kind of hard to say that they can sign all these people. And and honestly, where do they fit in there is the other thing. You got to figure out where they fit in terms of storylines, TV wise, that kind of thing. It's not like these guys don't deserve some TV time. So it just goes back to what's best for them. I think Conrad made the statement earlier. What's best for their families. Both of these men are, they're going to welcome in children into the world. So that's obviously something you need to take time off for.
Yep.
So, I say whatever's best for your family is what you should do. And, whoever offers that is what's best. So, but my sense would be, I think O'Reilly goes to AEW. I think that would make for some interesting TV and storylines over there. And I think Gargano ends up going back.
Yeah. Listen, you could definitely see both of that happen. Johnny Impact's a Scorpio Shuffle. It's fine if he goes back to Impact Wrestling. That's fine too. They're getting a lot of people in there too now. So, like I said, if they're bringing Roxy over and they've Jonah there now, it's gonna be it's gonna be tough. It's probably gonna be tough for some of these people to keep signing everybody. They don't have unlimited money. So so we'll see. But I'm okay with that too. Gargano should be HBK's top lieutenant in NXT. Sign him to a deal where he retires. It transitions into a producer's deal. Sure. Tazzy says, yeah, definitely think Johnny Gargano. Tazzy, of course, being the NXT guy. There you go. Yeah, I mean, is Johnny wrestling copyrighted, says Derek. I don't know. All right. So let's move on. What is next?
So we talked a little bit about Impact, but Jonah made a debut since the last time we were on this show, and now we know that he and Josh will be doing Battle at Hard to Kill.
That's gonna be a slobber knocker for sure. The debut that he had, of course, was a squash match, and it was a half a squash match. It wasn't getting to be counted as a full match. It was
a squash, all right.
Oh boy, this guy is being made to look really, really impressive, and I don't know. I am still really wondering what Scott D'Amore's play is here, because he really just seems like he's feeding Josh to the wolves. And I get it. He keeps saying, "Oh, I love you. I want what's best for you. I want." I don't know. I heard something like this before, and it was somebody else trying to butter up to somebody else, and it's I don't know. I would be careful if I were Josh and trusting Scott D'Amore, and it kind of looks like he's losing patience with him. So just be careful who you trust and who you don't. But it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, and that's going to be a huge match. The two of them doing battle, and Josh with of course the revenge angle. I mean, the dude took Josh's blood and kind of smeared it over his shirt. Hey. Yikes. But yeah, this dude is impressive, man, and he is going to be a major addition to the Impact roster. So chat says, sorry, Josh, I'm rooting for Jonah. Listen, we love Josh, but again, we don't know the status of his contract. We just don't know. And not knowing, you don't know where they're going to head with this. So, but whichever, man, what an impressive debut for this guy, Jeff.
Yes, it was. And, like 2 weeks in a row, he made an appearance at New Japan, facing off with Moose. Then he ends up just pummeling Josh. And then the first match that he had in the Impact Zone, let's not even call it a match.
It was just a beatdown.
It was a beatdown. That's what it was. I cannot wait for this matchup, though, at Hard to Kill. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be brutal. It's going to be violent. And it's going to say a lot about what they think, what Impact thinks about where this guy fits into things. And we might be talking about that later on in the show. So hint, hint, wink, wink. Normally we tie things in together. So just saying.
We like to create segues for ourselves. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. So looking forward to seeing that in January, and we won't have to wait long. It's literally only 2-3 weeks away now. So for that big pay-per-view coming up in January. So don't miss that. By the way, we found out Nick Khan is a childhood friend of The Rock's, so his stroke is unquestioned. Bronson Reed versus Moose would be a Rocky versus Drago fight. Let's go, Jonah. Sorry, Josh. Jonah's the new power guy and is going places, said Deanna. It looks that way. It looks that way. I mean, listen, even if he gets past the feud with Josh, I mean, look at the potential. Somebody mentioned Jonah and Moose. Somebody mentioned Jonah and Morrissey.
I just said that in the chat.
Jonah and Joe Doring. I mean, the big men that they have there.
Rhino,
and yeah, right, yeah. Oh boy, they've got a swath of people that they can set him up against, and so how about Jake something, Jonah,
yeah,
Jake something?
yeah.
Listen, they've got a lot of bruisers there, and this is going to get interesting really, really quickly. So great to see him.
Oh man, Joe, you missed one though.
Go ahead. Who did I miss?
Tarus.
Dude, yeah, man, oh man, yeah, there are really some interesting fantasy booking matchups you can make for him. Someone said that in the chat. Book a wrestler, Jonah. We might have to do that. Jonah versus Hernandez. Oh boy,
Hey.
Jonah and Black Tarus. Yeah. All right. Next up, Jeff.
All right, so we talked about her a little bit earlier, but Big Swole parted ways with AEW.
Yeah, shame, because I just, and this was back when we used to talk about how their women's division really wasn't coming along. And I think she may have been a little bit of a victim of that, because she, and it really did seem like they were trying to spotlight her. She had that big match against Britt Baker, did she not? I think
she did.
it was that cinematic match where they did it in the dentist office, right?
Yep.
I thought so. So, I mean, she was right there. She was right there. She's a great athlete. And listen, of course, wish her nothing but the best. I really hope somebody picks her up, because she's very talented. I know Jeff was a huge fan right from the start. And that's the thing. She's been dealing with some health issues. Okay, fine. The thing is, when you're bringing on, you're signing people. You brought in a Ruby Soho, right? And this is what goes back to what I was saying. You can't possibly, and it's no. Listen, I'm not taking shots at AEW. It's anyone, okay? It's anyone, but you can't give time to everyone. You just can't, and. They have some people there that they want to push up the ladder. They have people there that are right now, again, like I said, Ruby, Thunder Rosa, they have people there, Chris Statlander, the people there that they want on that top tier, but you're not going to have time to have everyone there. So, okay, she left on her own is on. Great. Okay. I listen, it's not a shot at AEW. So, okay, whatever, however she did, listen, she wasn't on TV. So if it was a medical issue, let's hope she gets better and stuff like that. But all I'm saying is, I hope we see her somewhere else, because you certainly couldn't do a bad job. You certainly couldn't do a bad job picking her up and having her somewhere else, whether it's NXT, whether she ends up in a great women's division in Impact Wrestling, whether she ends up, wherever. But let's just hope that she does get over her, the health issues, and let's hope that we see her again, because she was really talented. She really was, and she proved it in that match with Britt Baker. I guess that's why Abaddon only makes television once per year. Yeah, listen, it sucks. There are people there, but they just don't have the time. It is that you bring all these other people in, you're not going to have the time to devote to everybody. So, Jeff, I know you were, like I said, you were a fan of hers right from the start.
Yeah, I mean, I've been a fan of hers for quite some time, even before AEW, and it's one of those things where it's like, it was a mutual parting of ways. I get it. Who knows what the discussions were backstage, and and I give her credit, because she came out on Twitter and said in a tweet that she would discuss that on her time, in her time. So it's like, okay. So I don't know. I feel like we don't know. We don't know, and we won't know until someone comes out and says something. So, I hate to see her go. But, I think at some point we'll see her resurface. We'll see her come back. And who knows? I mean, maybe she doesn't want to go to Impact or WWE. Maybe she wants to do something different, wrestle on the indies a while. I know that's what she said on her Twitter that she would be doing a lot of indie bookings next year. So
there you go.
There
okay.
we go.
That's perfectly all right. I mean, we've seen a lot of people that enjoy that lifestyle. When we talked to Holiday, she mentioned that she loved doing that. So yeah, and that's perfectly fine. Whatever makes her happy. And if she is having health issues, then maybe she doesn't want to make a commitment. Maybe she would rather just do some independent bookings and stuff when she's feeling well. And if something's going on, she's not feeling well. I totally get that. I have a question for those who watch Ring of Honor. We know that when WWE do releases, wrestlers have to wait either 30 or 60 days before they go to different promotions. When ROH release their wrestlers, do they have the same? I don't think so. I think they're free to negotiate wherever they want to go because technically they were let go and the company's done. As of right now, there is no Ring of Honor. So whether they come back with something in April, like they said they are, but no, they're all pretty much free. They're all free agents. They can go wherever they want to go, I believe. So I could be wrong, but I believe that's how it is. All right. We went over the next one, I think, already. So we've got the Seth Rollins situation, I think, to talk about because we've been off for a while since, oh boy. The fan attack. Listen, it was scary to watch because when you saw it happen, it looked like it was almost like part of the show. I wasn't the only one who was there were a lot of people out there on the socials that were saying, he was attacked by, they thought it was a wrestler, but it turned out it was not. It was an individual who, and it's scary stuff. That happened, and they were talking again. I get a lot of stuff on Busted Open. They were talking a lot about this on Busted Open, and Bully Ray was saying, you don't jump the rail. You don't jump the rail. That's just a no-no. You don't jump the rail. But then on the other hand, they were talking about how this used to be an occurrence. Like back in the day, and I'm talking, 80s wrestling, 90s wrestling, this happened a lot. And he was talking about in ECW shows. Could you imagine? I mean, ECW shows are crazy the way it is. But he was talking about how they would go and they'd taunt the crowd. And they would, they'd purposely go up to fans and be like, you suck, and you blah, 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 blah. And you'd have that happen, that the fans would jump the rail. And he, Bully was kind of, not that he was defending it at all, because he said, obviously it's all about safety, because you don't know what that dude may have had in his hand. You don't know what, you don't know anything. So, it's obviously very scary today because there are so many different things that happen that are violent, and as opposed to the 80s and 90s, where fans may have just been trying to get themselves involved in something that was going on there. But thankfully everyone was okay. Thankfully they got the dude. They did charge him, I believe, which was weird too, because then he ended up going on Instagram and talking about why he did it and rambling on about that he was almost like he was part of the storyline. So this guy, listen, he's got some issues too. But yeah, like he was talking about like how he was part of the family and blah, blah, blah. And that's why he did it. And it was, so I don't know if they did arrest him or charge him, he must've gotten out pretty quickly because he was right on Instagram very soon the next day. So yeah, I'm just glad everybody's okay. You saw the thing with Becky Lynch was peeking out of the curtain and watching that, obviously that's her husband. So, I'm sure very, very concerned as well. So scary stuff, Jeff. And, all it's going to do is really just going to make them tighten up security even more, especially in those hallway areas where they're walking down to the ring. And, what you don't want to see is you don't want to see them get to a point where they push fans further back, because now they don't trust people that they're not going to do stupid stuff like that. Yep. Muted, Jeff. Sorry.
There we go.
There
I'm
you go.
multitasking back here, and um, so I wanted to point out, C Wrestling brought up the story was apparently the guy was talking to a fake Seth Rollins, sent him money, then a fake Roman was trying to get more money and riled him up. Very horrible situation. Like, honestly, um, this is part of what I was going to talk about in my grievance. So I won't go into great detail here, but what I'll say is this. Um, this is why I feel like it's so important for people to understand social media and the ease at which people can create accounts and pretend to be so and so. I mean, my guy Wyndham got hacked last week.
Yeah.
And
Omos, I think, was too.
Omos got hacked. They're not the first people with verified accounts to get hacked. But it's far too easy these days for people to fake stuff and to come up with stuff. I mean, we had somebody earlier that came in this chat that I'm almost 99.999% sure created a fake account just to come in and troll. It's too easy to be a keyboard warrior these days and get people riled up, get the masses riled up. I'll go into more of this in a little bit, but you have to be careful and you shouldn't have to say this kind of stuff, but I'm going to say it anyway. If anybody's soliciting money from you, think about it real quick. Does Seth Rollins need my money? Does Roman Reigns need my money?
Right.
Do any of these people really need my money? And you work from there. You know, just you hate. Yeah, and I feel my anger isn't towards the person that got scammed as much. You need to not be so naive, but it's the people who create these accounts to take advantage of people.
Right.
That's the disgusting part.
Yeah.
Like, you're preying on people, and it's disgusting. And stuff like that in today's day and age causes events like this to happen, where people show up and they think that they're doing something and they're in legal trouble because of a fake account on social media.
Yeah, we see it a lot at my place of employment. Actually, the Geek Squad people that work there see it all the time. And most of the time, it's older folks that get scammed out of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. They get a call to a phone, to their cell phone, saying, "Hey, this is so and so," or they call into these fake numbers. They'll go on the internet. They'll type in "help" for computer help. They'll go on, they'll call the number, they'll get somebody from overseas who is not what they say they are, and they'll say, "Oh yes, we can help you. We'll fix your computer. All you have to do is go and get $1,000 worth of gift cards from wherever, and give us the codes, and then we'll get into your computer and we'll help you." And our Geek Squad guys, they end up going in and fix them. But when I was working there for a little while, a couple of years ago, we had older women coming up, and they're crying their eyes out because they got scammed out of thousands of dollars. And there isn't anything you can do. You can help them. They fix their computer. They got all the crap that they put on their computer because they put all that spyware on their computer at that point. So it's almost like you have a virus then. But there's nothing you can do. When they get you that way, it's untraceable. So you just bought them gift cards that you're handing them with your own money, and maybe your bank may help you, but it's bad. It really is. You really have to watch. And here's one little tip I'll give you for that kind of stuff too: change your passwords. Change them often. Go in and change all your social media passwords. You literally should be changing those things at least twice a year. Because if not, you will fall victim to somebody that'll get in there, and they'll end up they'll end up changing your password. They'll get in your account and they'll start posting on your part. You won't even know it. So change your passwords on all of your social media stuff, Twitter, Facebook, wherever you're on. Go in there and change your passwords and make them difficult because these guys can look up. Listen, I'll tell you, you want to get scared about some stuff like this, go watch Mr. Robot. You'll find out exactly what these guys can do. They can go into a computer. They can see, like, they'll go in and they'll search your Facebook and they'll see, oh, look, he puts pictures of his dog Spot. Could the password be something with his dog Spot? And then they figure things out like that. So it's scary. It is scary. Change your passwords and protect yourself because it's scary stuff. Well, listen, as far as that goes, with that guy, again, hopefully he gets help. If he was scammed, again, hopefully, you know, the authorities get a hold of whoever it was that scammed him, and let's hope that the guy gets some help. But yeah, let's hope we don't see this again because it was a scary moment. It was an absolutely scary moment, and I'm sure the adrenaline with Seth, you could see it. You know, when they showed the pictures and stuff, you could see it that he was mad. I mean, yeah, that's because that's what the adrenaline's going to make you mad. You know, that you're going to come out and you're going to want to fight. I mean, you're fighting for yourself. It's a very scary situation. So, perfect example. I died 3 weeks ago on Twitter. It didn't hurt much. Someone said you died. Good Lord. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, socials are very, 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 very crappy. So, anyway, segue. We segued into it before because, you know, it is December 12th. And it is that time. And it is that time on our show for what has become everyone's favorite part of the show. Jeff, the intro.
Here we go.
The airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now, you're going to hear about it.
I love that. I got a lot of problems with you people. Oh, man. Jerry Stiller, God bless. God rest his soul. He was one of the only comedians that you could listen to that can yell at the top of his lungs and you crack up every time he did it. Whether it was on Seinfeld or on King of Queens, he just had that. And he was a little man. He wasn't a big dude, but, man, when he yelled with that his whole entire voice, oh, God, you just had to crack up laughing. So, Festivus for the rest of us.
That's the funnest.
It is. All right. So airing of grievances. Jeff's got one that he's been waiting a couple weeks to do because we couldn't do the show the last time. So obviously I'm going to defer to Jeff. Go right ahead, man. Get us started.
All right. So, you know, Joe talked about this a little bit earlier, and I'm going to bring it up, and I'm not going to go into great detail. As detailed as I was at one point, I'm kind of glad now that I've had a chance to kind of scale back what I want to say a little bit. But Joe referenced that I take frequent breaks from social media, and I do. And the reason I do that is because social media is a toxic place, or at least it can be. And it can be very tiring, even more tiring for someone who struggles with mental health issues. I have not been shy about this, but I probably haven't been as open with it, and I'm not going to be fully open with it right now. This is a time for a later show when there's more time to get into it. But I do deal with depression and anxiety, and comments and certain things weigh on you. You know, even being on screen and talking in front of people, you know, like we do, can weigh on you. So there are times where people say things through DMs or, you know, in other places that, you know, it's a reference to you or whatever. And it stings. I mean, words hurt. You know, people say the saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt. Well, that's a bunch of BS, because words do hurt. Words matter. And I bring all of that up to say that on social media, a lot of times people just forget the fact that they're human beings and that they're talking to other human beings. Almost as if typing on a phone or on a keyboard just removes all feelings from the words that you spew out. Whether it's against a wrestler or an actor or an athlete or a team or whatever. The ability to say something on social media is supposedly okay for you just to be a complete and utter jerk and say whatever it is that's on your mind because you have those 280 characters on Twitter or however many on Facebook and wherever else. So you can just say whatever the heck you want to say and it doesn't have any consequence. Well, I will tell you that that's wrong. There are people in this country that commit suicide based on online bullying and social media bull crap that goes on that people just think they're saying something and this it is what it is, but you don't know how it's going to land with that person. You don't know what that person's going through at the moment. So you say something, you spout off at the mouth, and all of a sudden, something happens and you feel like a jerk because you were like, well, it's just social media. Well, to somebody else, that just social media may be the last thing to put them over the edge. When it comes down to it, none of us, no one should ever act like wrestling is life or death because it's not. It's supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyable. Whenever we, and I'm just going to say we, I've never done this and I'm not going to, but whenever we get to the point with social media that we don't agree with someone, and because we don't agree with their wrestling tape, we have to bash them, that's not a their problem, that's a you problem. And you really need to check your priorities. Like, honestly, you need to check your priorities. If you get into a wrestling debate with someone and you want to attack them and bring them down and insult them and say, well, my company's superior because we have this, 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 and this. No, my company's better because we have this person, this person, this person. You know what? In the grand scheme of things, folks, it really doesn't matter. It's entertainment. It's there for our entertainment and for us to escape. So if you feel the need to tear other people down because you feel differently from them, then you are the one that needs to look in the mirror and you're the one that needs some help because narcissism is not a good look. And thank you, Deanna, because I was just about to go there. If you knew that this person was walking in front of you, would you have the guts? Would you have the intestinal fortitude? I'll say it very nicely, to say it to their face? Or would you cower over in the corner, hide behind your phone screen, and type out those 280 characters? I'm willing to bet that you might not have the guts to say it to the person's face. Last thing I'll say is this, and it's about this guy that attacked Seth Rollins. I'm not going to defend the guy because it's indefensible in my opinion. However, you have no idea what that person is dealing with. And to be preyed upon by people faking to be superstars, and people are very savvy and they make it look legit. Now, I feel bad because that person shouldn't have been as naive, but people are really good at making things look legit, even though they're not. So we also, as horribly as we feel about that situation, we also have to be mindful that that person may not have the capacity to understand that what they did was completely wrong. Maybe something's, just not firing there for them. Maybe it just wasn't. But before we're quick to call a person crazy and deranged and everything else, sometimes we have to have a little bit of maturity to be able to step back and say, okay, what in the world, what led to that? Because I feel confident in saying that something is just not quite right with that person and in their life that made them think that they were a part of a storyline in wrestling to be able to break down or go past security and get over the barricade to attack Seth Rollins. So we have to be mindful of how we treat other people, because we never know, the words that we say may have an impact, and that impact may be detrimental, and we really have to think about that. I am done.
Great stuff. I listen. I think you could probably look at it from a standpoint of where we've all done it. Hell, I've done it. And sometimes, like Jeff said, you have to take a step back. You have to realize, like he said, and listen, there's no better example than Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace put out a post about it today that said, be careful what you say, words hurt. Be careful what you post. Because, you don't know what is going on with the person on the other side. We had a wrestler kill herself over this. So it's that serious. But again, I've done it, for whatever reason, and sometimes you're on there and I don't know, maybe you're in a bad mood or maybe you're on a bad day. But Jeff always would say, and this is a quote from the great Herman Edwards from football. He's a guy now that goes and talks to, he was talking to players when they get drafted. So he would see these new players coming in from college. And one of the things he would say is, think before you post. Think before you click that send button. Think before you click. And he's absolutely right. What you need to do, and what I have promised myself to do more often too, is before you reply, count to 10 slowly. 1, 2, 3 in your head. Don't count out loud because people in the house might think you're weird. But count to 10 slowly. And when you get to 10, if you can still remember why you were going to post what you were going to post, or why you kind of felt strongly about doing that, then I guess go ahead and do it. But in a lot of times, I guess what I'm saying is, when you get to 10, you're probably going to change your mind, or you're probably going to think to yourself, yeah, that was kind of not really appropriate or not really nice to do. So, yeah, but I listen, no one's perfect with any of this. I'm not going to sit here and say that I'm an expert on social media. I am obviously not. You guys, you young guys know much more about it than I do. But yeah, listen, I'll come out and say there have been several times when I've been wrong, things that I've said to people. Recent example is someone that was excited about something, said something on social media. I'm not going to bring up who or what. They were excited about something. I responded in a way that came out, and it kind of had really nothing to do with what the dude was excited about. And I really had no right to post it. And I apologized after, I thought about it, and then I turned around and I apologized to the dude because I was wrong. He was just trying to express excitement for something, and I put something in there that was not exciting, and it probably spoiled it for him. And I can totally get that. And what I had to think to myself is, would I have wanted that done to me? And no, was the answer. So that's what I've learned from that. And I've said that to myself. And I said, I'm gonna do the 10 countdown, like Herman Edwards says. And I'm gonna count 10. And by the time I get to the end, I probably start to realize, yeah, that was kind of dumb. You know, that didn't need to be said. So, yeah, 100% correct. I also agree 100% about the wrestling stuff that Jeff was saying too. Guys, look, this is entertainment, plain and simple. It's not war. It's not me versus you because you like that blah 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 company and I like blah 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 company. It's really not. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. It's what you like because of why you like it, and other people aren't going to understand it. Listen, one of my and you guys know this. One of my biggest passions in my life is Jason Voorhees, a murderous killer who goes around slaughtering people. Is one of my favorite things of all time. Right? I absolutely love it. My mom used to think I was insane. Why do you like this? She thought for a while she's gonna have to do something with me because I was gonna go on a mass murdering spree or something like that. Well, obviously that didn't happen, but everybody likes the things that they like, and they have their reasons for it, and that's fine, and it's okay that everybody likes something else. We're not the same, and my one pet peeve that I have is don't argue with me and tell me why I should like something or do something. If I state an opinion, that's my opinion. I'm entitled to it, but don't argue with me and tell me why I shouldn't be that way. I hate that. I hate it. And I used to, I have that little Facebook group that I've had for 10 years now. That's all about geek stuff. And again, it's almost the same thing. You had geek culture with when the new Star Wars movies came out. Oh, these movies suck. Oh, blah, 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 blah. And you had people going back and forth. And I'm like, this is Star Wars. Who cares? Well, it translated over to wrestling now. But again, if I like something, it's because I like it. And I'm not going to try to force my opinion on others. But again, don't try to force it on me because I like things for completely different reasons that you probably do. And that's okay. Everybody's different. That's what's great about the world. But like Jeff said, be respectful. And ultimately, and Herman Edwards, I think, said this too, if I remember it correctly. Ultimately, the rule goes for like when you meet somebody too. If you don't have anything nice to say, just zip it. Don't say anything at all. Just let it go. Move on with your day. So, good stuff, Jeff. Thank you very much. It was awesome.
Thank you.
All right, guys. Well, there you go. That was our airing of grievances section of our show. Appreciate Jeff doing that and bringing some light to that topic and stuff like that. It needs to be brought out and said. So good stuff. All right, I think we are going to our debate segment.
We're going to our debate segment. So let me switch that over.
You want to ring the bell? Ding. Ding. You know what I just watched finally, Jeff? And I really want, and I hadn't gotten a chance to see it. The Last Rambo. It finally came on cable, and I hadn't seen it. And I've watched all of Stallone's movies. I just like them. I'm a Stallone fan. Dude, was this movie bloody? Oh my God. I love that kind of stuff. I love horror and everything like that, but oh my God, this movie was bloody. Like he ripped a dude's heart out of his chest. And I've never seen anything. I'm like, what? Really? Yeah, I mean, God bless Sylvester Stallone. But it was really good. It was really good. The story wasn't bad either. It was very different. Yeah, man, I love it. I absolutely loved it. Anyway, all right. We are at the sell or no sell segment, Jeff. So what's topic number one?
All right. Topic number one. Jonah is a future Impact World Champion. Sell or no sell?
Yeah, I've got to sell it. I've got to sell it. Yeah, I've got to definitely sell this. Listen, they didn't bring this guy in for no reason. He was a great champion in NXT when he was there, and I see no reason why not to believe he will be that here too. He already, I mean, obviously, and the chat is going crazy with sells, so obviously everybody agrees. Yeah, listen, he already came out and he's challenging Josh, and then he already threw out a challenge to Moose as well. So I don't think they're even going to take that long to get him involved in that. We may see that as soon as the big pay-per-view in the spring. But listen, why not? This guy is devastating. And, he moves like a guy that's a lot smaller than he is. So he's got athleticism. He's a big man. It's a good mixture of both. You don't see that very often in wrestling. And I have no doubt that it won't be very long. It could be sometime this year, depending on what they do with Josh and depending on what happens with Josh's contract. But it could be very soon. I would think this year that this guy gets shot up the ladder. So definitely a sell on that for me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm gonna love it. I'm gonna sell that. I think he's a future world champ. Azan brought up a good point in the chat saying, about his contract situation. I'm going on the assumption that he's going to be there for longer than a month or two. Even if he was there for 6 months, I'd still put it on him at some point. Just because I just think he's that good and he's that dynamic. Plus, if he's on a shorter deal on the way out, it could really serve someone well to be to put them over. So I'm gonna sell it. I think he's a star.
Yeah, agreed. Deanna, what's that? Move, got the moves like Vader. Got the moves.
That's
Love
the
it.
remix.
That is the remix. Yes, let's do that. Good night, Jason. All right. What's the next topic?
All right, next one. This kind of comes on the heels of Survivor Series and all the talk about The Rock, but Rock versus Roman is the best match for Roman at WrestleMania.
I'm gonna no-sell this only because I'm gonna no-sell this, but only because I think where they could be going with all of this, and I think that, listen, The Rock was always the one pointed at for the one that's going to be in Hollywood. Which would make a ton of sense. And that, of course, is not this year's. This year's is the one in Dallas, Texas. So I am thinking that they're going to shoot that for the one in that they're going to shoot that for next year. That's what I think. And the other thing, too, is he is just such a busy dude. He's got movies upon movies upon movies that the dude does. It's probably going to be, and that's probably why I think they might go for the Hollywood one, because if he's there anyway, and if he's filming stuff at, it's going to be a lot easier for him to get there to do it. So I'm going to no-sell it, but only because I think that where they're going to go, at least, from what it's looking like anyway, with the stuff that's going on there, it seems as if the Brock thing is going to be the big thing that's going to happen. They probably are going to have at least a couple more matches. I know they have that match at day one. They're going to probably have another match at WrestleMania. And, and maybe that's when Roman loses finally, to just get some different things going on there. And, obviously with the news from Friday, it looks like Mr. Heyman might be putting out signals that he may be turning at some point on the tribal chief. So we'll see. But yeah, I no sell it for that reason, because I do think that he will be the one to be. They'll be shooting to try to get him on the one that's in Hollywood. What do you think, Jeff?
So for me, I'm kind of wasting time here. I'm gonna no sell it. I want to. You know what I want with this? If they're gonna do this, I don't want it to be built from Survivor Series until WrestleMania. I want it to be like a year and a half build. Give me an old school good build. Like every now and again, maybe let's say maybe The Rock comes back at some point and does kind of like a Legends night or something. Just kind of he's there and happens to run into Roman and they have a little interaction, and then that's it for like 6 months. And then do something else, and then it's another 6 months. I'm liking that. Plus, we got to do something between now and then to get the title off of Roman, because this doesn't need to be for a title. This just needs to be family versus family. But just give it a long build. Give it something good. Yeah, Azan, kind of like that. Kind of like The Rock and Cena. Just this long build. And just build that anticipation. And when we get to Hollywood, can you imagine the people that are going to be there to support The Rock just from his celebrity friends, and all the things that you can do with that from a promotional, monetary, marketing standpoint? It just makes a lot of sense to do this another year from now. So I'm going to no sell it.
Yeah. Could you imagine if they get that hype up as big or even bigger than what it was with The Rock and Hogan?
Oh, I know.
I mean, and
it has the potential.
It does.
It has the potential.
That could be what The Rock might have in his mind too. You know, he didn't leave with a good taste in his mouth because he got injured. So he didn't leave on a high note. And, you know, with Hogan, you know, that was a tremendous way for him to walk away with that match against The Rock. So imagine if that's what happens and you get a similar kind of a thing with those two. Huge, absolutely huge. So yeah, I agree. So there you go. All right, what's up next?
All right, here's one that'll surely get the masses riled up real quick. MJF is the best heel in wrestling right now. Sell or no sell?
Well, we were just talking about one of them. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to sell it. And I'm going to sell it because of his age. Listen, Roman's doing wonders as a heel. There's no doubt. There's no questioning it. But I think just because of the staying power that this dude has, can you see him turning face? No. And that's what you got to ask yourself, right? Some of the best ones through the years have turned face. Roddy Piper turned face. You know, Hogan as a heel, came from a face. This dude, I don't really see anyone ever liking this guy. And there's nothing wrong with that. This, to me, and I always loved this, right? I love this. And we heard this from Nikita Koloff when we did our interview with him. Speaking of interviews, he spoke about, and he was part of that whole thing with the Russians. And oh my God, you want to talk about heat? You know, in that interview, he told us they had crap thrown at them. They had knives pulled on them because they were always in character. Always. And that's what you're hearing about this kid. And I'll call him a kid because he's half my age. But that's what you hear about him. Someone had said that he did something to a kid, that there was an autograph signing or something like that, and he was a jerk to the kid. Listen, this guy lives this. He lives this. That's a throwback. That's a special wrestler, and that's a throwback. And he is a throwback. He is a throwback heel. He lives this every day of his life in the wrestling business. And to me, just go look at his Twitter. He insults people constantly on his Twitter, constantly. He lives it. And I think because of his age, because he's so young and he's got such a big future ahead of him, wait until this dude becomes AEW champion. Wait, because you think you hate him now. oh boy, is he going to get all that much more obnoxious. And you want to talk, we always talk about builds. Well, Hangman Page has the belt right now, right? He's the big face. He's the guy everybody wanted to get it. So let's say he keeps it. I'm not saying he will, but let's say he keeps it. And you're building now up the ladder, that big, huge heel that's going to take down everyone's favorite face. What better way to give him the title? Everybody will hate him even more than they do already. He takes the title off of him, and then after that, the cycle has to go back again, and then you've got to build up a face that's going to be able to take him down. It makes for great storytelling. He's got a big, barring, of course, any major injuries, which we hope never happens. He's got a bright future ahead of him. And like I said, a little Andrew Dice Clay. I like that. Deanna. He does. He came from Long Island. Andrew Dice Clay is from New York as well. He does. He's got that little bit of Andrew Dice Clay swagger. If he smoked a cigarette, if you had cigarettes today, which, they're passe now, everybody vapes. But if you had cigarettes today, you could totally see it. Totally could see it. Great comparison. But yes, I definitely am selling it for that reason. Go ahead, Jeff.
Well, might be called a hater on this one, but I step out on the limb sometimes, which is fine. Listen, for every single reason you mentioned about MJF, he is a great heel. I take nothing away from MJF because he is a great heel. And the mark of a true great heel is if you don't like them outside of their wrestling programming. And in that sense, he has accomplished that mission with me because I cannot stand this guy. So, he has accomplished that mission for all the right reasons. And I don't say that because I dislike him as a person or a wrestler or as a character. He's done his job with me because he rubs me the wrong way in all the right ways. Did that make sense to anybody? Because it makes sense to me.
Yep.
Okay, good. Now that we're on the same page, for me right now, the work that Roman is doing is just a hair above this guy. Because Roman, even though I know that Roman's not living this like MJF is, I just don't like Roman when he comes on the TV screen, but in the coolest way possible. So, I think for me, and this is just personal preference, I like the cool kind of edgy heel instead of like the potty mouth, like whatever the kind of, it sounds bad, but kind of juvenile tactics in some ways, the insults and all that stuff. Like I just love what Roman is doing right now. So I'm gonna say no sell, but that's because of my own personal preference.
Yeah, and it's all again, this is just a thing, and it's all good because it's two people with two completely different opinions, and that's fine. And I can totally see where you're coming from too, because I guess if you want to make it this way, it's almost like Roman maybe is the more classy heel, and he's the classless one. Because he comes out with, like Jeff said, he comes out with all of, hey, I don't know, I'm not saying he says it, but he comes out and say, you're a dickweed or something. He's not calling names. And Roman comes out with the more calm thing when he comes out to the ring and the swagger and the acknowledge me. He doesn't get all upset and all mad. It is just, so yeah, they're two very different, both at the top of their game. And isn't it funny how everyone had said years ago that Roman Reigns should be a heel, years ago, and they finally listened. And yeah, I mean, I was just talking to a guy that I knew that went to the event that was near me, that they had the SmackDown event not that long ago, and he had said how he said the crowd there was pretty dead, and they were. I remember watching on TV; they were pretty quiet. And he said that after the show was over, they had the dark match. And he said the announcer comes out and they talk to the crowd. If you've never been to a live show, this is what they do. And the announcer came out and talked to the crowd and said, all right, everybody, stand up and acknowledge your tribal chief. And then all of a sudden he comes out and he said they popped so loud when he walked out into the arena. And he said it was probably the loudest pop they had of the night, except for how they were booing Charlotte Flair. And he said it was, and then he came out and he's smiling and stuff like that. And he said at one point, and this is where you got the little video clip of them tagging Heyman into the ring, when he tagged Paul Heyman in and Paul Heyman went into the ring and then got thrown right out of the ring afterwards. That was what that was from. So, yeah. But he said it was great because Roman came out and he said Roman played the face. He said he was actually the face in the whole thing, and he was laughing at everybody and doing this. So out of character, but like Jeff said, he is very good word, smooth. He is. He's very much the cool, calm, and collected heel. He could be fuming, but when he does, he sits there. And I've said it since the beginning. You compare him to a mob boss. He's never gonna get. You want to talk about geek stuff in comic books? He's like the Kingpin in the comics. Never, you don't see him get boiling mad. He doesn't go over the top. He doesn't spout off a whole bunch of stuff. He gets, you know when he's mad, and you don't want the dude to be mad. So yeah, it definitely comes from both sides, and that's awesome. Awesome. Very methodical in how he approaches it, says Deanna. Yes, absolutely.
See, that's what I like, the more methodical, kind of calculating approach, as opposed to the I'm in your face and I'm going to say this, this stuff that might make you laugh, that might make, either way.
I think it's methodical versus like the get under your skin annoying. Yeah. Perfectly good. Roman Reigns was awesome heel / face at the SmackDown I went to. Yeah, apparently he does that, which that's cool. If he's not there and then you get to see him afterwards, which I'm sure a lot of people want to do. He may have even been at the show the other night. You don't know. You don't get to see all these dark things, the dark matches afterwards and stuff like that. So you never know. But yeah, it's cool. It's very cool. All right. We're moving on here to what's okay.
Since we kind of talked about it a little bit, and we'll let people know. Let's go to Book a Wrestler.
Let's do that.
All right, let's go. This should be fun too, by the way. This should be a fun Book a Wrestler.
Let's do it.
As soon as this thing stops playing, I didn't realize I made it that long. That's hot dang. All right. So drum roll, I guess.
All right. Well, it's Mia Yim. There you go. Okay. Azan says Jonah. No, we didn't do Jonah yet. We could do Jonah in the future. We said that. We can't do it now because we had something else already prepared.
We did book him as Bronson Reed going to the main roster.
Yes, we did.
But we have not booked him as Jonah. So I will say that's going to come soon. Real soon. Yep.
There you go. We can do that. Mia Yim. Of course, we all know Mia Yim was released by the WWE, and as of right now, we haven't heard anything of where she may go or anything like that. She was on the main roster, so of course she has to wait that 90-day period before she can do anything, which is like February-ish or something around there. But we all know where she was last. Retribution. What a waste of I could go on for an hour literally on a show about Retribution and how bad that was, and for everyone involved. Bad for everyone involved in that. What a horrible thing that they did with that. So let's go to a land where that never happened, and let's book a wrestler. So Jeff, go ahead, you started off. How would you have booked or book Medium?
So it's quite simple what I would do at this point. I feel like you need more tag teams in the Knockouts division in Impact Wrestling. I feel like, as currently presented, she would pair very well with one Mercedes Martinez.
Ooh. Okay.
And I would have her go on a run with Mercedes, and I would have them eventually become the Knockouts Tag Team Champions. Because those two together with that type of persona would just be incredibly difficult. Could strike fear in their opponents, kind of deal. And could you imagine kind of like the kind of like the tough kids in the schoolyard going up against the the not so tough kids in the schoolyard, and how sometimes the kids that are not so cool, that are not so tough, they kind of run away and they do all those kinds of things. Could you imagine that with the inspiration and the backstage stuff that they could do with each other? Like, that would be so much fun. It would just be so much fun. So for those reasons, I would love to see her in Impact. And join up with Mercedes. But I think, in her own right, she could be a really good single star too. I think that's just eventually. I think that's down the line. But to bring her in, I would have her join up in a tag team and kind of add some depth to that Knockouts division. The other thing that you could do too is you could also have her pair up with Ember Moon.
Oh boy.
And bring them in as a tag team. Just another thought, but just throwing that out there.
Yeah, that's some great shouts. Big Dan. I see you. I was going to say, listen, I was going to bring up her husband. It seems as if, WWE does it. AEW does it. It seems like these companies are trying to create a little bit of harmony with a family life when you have a couple together at a promotion or on a show or whatever the case might be. Why not have her come in with Keith Lee? Keith is going to be out there too, and he's got the same thing with the 90-day. So now, of course, you don't see male and female tag teams or anything like that happen very often. So, maybe she comes in as and look, I mean, they're obviously doing things now with, I read that Maurice is back. So, they're doing things with that where she's coming back with Miz. Maybe that's going to be a thing. And listen, we talked about that on this very show. Bring back valets. Bring back valets. I'm all for it. They're good. They're mouthpieces sometimes when people need a mouthpiece. I am perfectly fine with that. But have her come in. Maybe they come in at the same time. Maybe one of them gets a start in a match. And again, I don't care where we see her, whether she goes to AEW with Keith Lee, whether she goes into NWA. I see that Sean Akers saying NWA with Nick Aldis and Mickey. Could you imagine? Tom and Camille for dude. Can you imagine Nick Aldis, Mickey James against Mia Yim and Keith Lee? Whew. I'm good with that.
Give me that one.
Yeah, let's give NWA a little love. We don't talk about NWA very much on our show,
right.
But yeah, let's give NWA a little love. I'm all for that. Nobody mentions them as a destination for people to go. Let's do that. I think that's fantastic, Sean. That's a great call. But that's kind of where I was going with it. And I would say have them come in to wherever they're going to go. It doesn't matter if it's AEW, if it's Impact, if it's NWA. Have them come in together as a kind of a package type of thing, and have them come out, and both of them can just do their, they can come out and they can challenge whoever it is they want. They can challenge, they can come out and challenge separate people and just say, hey, we are the new power couple here. We are going to take over this show. He's going to take over the men's side. I'm going to take over the women's side, and I'm going to destroy whoever comes in my way. I love it. I think that's fantastic. That's where I was going with it. So Big Dan, you stole my thunder, but it's all good. It's all good. You guys are into it. That's fantastic, man. I absolutely love it. If Deonna wins back the Knockouts title, I can see Mia coming back and challenging her. Look, I'm fine with that. She is Martin Bella is NWA Women's Tag Team Champion. The Hex her and Allison Kay.
Yeah, Marty Bell and
Yep.
Allison Kay.
Yep.
Chad was saying maybe Marty Bell could go back. Yeah, I mean all of them were there. Allison Kay, Marty Bell, all of them were in Impact. But it'd be awesome to see them back together again. It doesn't have to be an Impact.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, hey, listen, things that we don't give NWA a lot of love, and they're doing some good stuff over there, and why not have them go over there? Listen, these companies can't sign everyone. Impact can't bring everyone in. Same goes with AEW, and the same goes with WWE and NXT. Give some of these other companies some love, and I could definitely see them going over there. And NWA, as it's set up, is a very good destination for people to go if they need to maybe work on their promotion skills, the promo skills, because NWA is all about promos. And maybe that would be good for them. A lot of people that had complained, I guess the higher ups and stuff complained about Keith Lee, was that, maybe he wasn't that great on the mic. Okay, cool. Go to a place where that's what they do. They're good at that. They do good work with promos, and let them do it there. I think that's a great call. Keith and Mia versus Chelsea Green and Matt Cardona.
Oh yeah.
It's out there. And listen, who knows? We don't see it happen now. I mean, Impact does a pretty good job of it. They mix male and female together quite a bit more than a lot of other companies do. So, yeah, why not? Why not? I'm good with that. Hey, like I said, we're booking a wrestler. We can do whatever we want. What if the tease from Mia mentions she's coming for Retribution and shows a broke? Oh, that would be amazing. That would be awesome.
Oh,
that would be awesome. Could you imagine? Oh, she'd probably love that too. Because, I mean, how can you can't copyright the word retribution. It's an actual word in the dictionary, so you can't copyright that. I would love that. That would be awesome. That'd be amazing. With the Forbidden Door situation, it almost doesn't really matter now. That's true, too.
True.
Yeah. These companies all seem to be working together anyway. There's a lot of doors open up for everybody to go. So, yeah, that's fantastic. Good stuff. And good stuff getting involved, chat. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Again, if you guys want to see us do this with a favorite of yours, let us know. Comment in the chat for the video here. Let us know, because we don't get a lot of comments. We're comment-less a lot of the times. So let us know in the chat. Let us know there. Let us know in the comments of the video. Put it in the comments. Who would you like to see us book a wrestler? Let us know. We would appreciate the comments. Rumors Jeff Jarrett is looking to start a new promotion. I bet he'd be willing to sign a lot of the former ROH talent and release WWE people. You never know. Never know. All right. What is up next? I believe it is time for favorites.
That's right. Favorite moments of the week. And I'm glad I just thought about this right now because I'm struggling right now to come up with my I've got a few, but I think I can pull it together.
All right. You want me to start instead of the view this time?
No, I can start. That's fine.
You go. Okay. All right. Yeah. Go ahead. What's your number 3, dude?
I'll start. My number 3 moment of the week, and I'm figuring this out on the fly, is, you know what? I got to shout out Matt Cardona. And his growth. And that's I just really I'm enjoying seeing what he's doing in Impact. And it's so different from what he was doing before. I'm really, really, really happy to see him getting more of a prominent spot. So number 3 for me is Matt Cardona. Just gonna throw that out there.
All right. Oh boy, there were a lot of big things this week. Whether it be and a lot of it, I could probably name 3 from the show that I watched last night. I am going to go with. I'm going to go with what EC3 did in ROH. I loved what they did with that. EC3. If you didn't see the show last night, he was in a match. Didn't do really anything special in the match. He didn't win the match or anything like that. Didn't do anything special, but he was in there. And then when the match was over, he kind of stuck around and he was walking around with the mic and he kind of didn't know what he was going to do. And the fact that ROH was going away, he kind of figured he was going to come out and he was going to say some things about ROH, and he did. But then you really didn't know. And then all of a sudden, here comes the promotion for Free the Narrative, which I thought was brilliant. Because it was, listen, if you don't know Free the Narrative, what he preaches is that the companies are the bad entity. These big companies, these corporate people, this is what he preaches in Free the Narrative. And then he came out, and sure enough, when the big company is the villain, they're stopping it. They're releasing all their superstars, right? They're celebrating. And he came out and said, all right, enough of this. You guys are gonna, you guys are falling for all this. And he goes into this big spiel, and it was tremendous. It was absolutely tremendous. And he was talking to the guys that were in the ring and saying, all right, you guys are going to be next. You're going to free your narrative. And then everybody's thinking, oh, what are they going to do? What are they going to do? All you have to do is beat Titan. And there comes big Adam Shearer out of the back. Everybody freaked out. Here he comes out of the back, and he walks to the ring. And he just destroys everybody. So he got his Free the Narrative over during ROH. He got ROH over as well because talking about it beforehand, and that's where all his talent was from. A lot of the talent was from, and then he got Titan over as well, who's not even in a company right now. So I love that. I loved it, and I put it on Twitter. I thought it was an amazing segment, and it was just fantastic how they built that thing into the story of what was the end of a company, which is what he's been preaching for a while. So I thought that was really, really cool. So that's my number 3. Let me go and read some people's, and we'll get to our number 2s. Isn't it crazy talking about Matt Cardona and how he's grown? Very much so. Hook's debut, says James Grant. Yep, great call. I saw that a lot advertised on there, talked about on the socials. Scarlett should be your next guest. Scarlett's more than welcome to ever be our next guest whenever she would like to. Yeah, without a doubt. Conrad's given his top 3. So Matt Riddle on Raw and Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Matt Cardona's World NWA and the Ring of Honor show is his number 1. For me, 1 was Deonna Purrazzo challenging Roxy at Final Battle. I could have mentioned that too. Yeah, unexpected, and Deonna putting over another young talent. Yeah, that was amazing. Hook's debut for Team Taz. Big Dan saying Liv Morgan versus Becky Lynch, the return of Titan and NXT War Games. War Games. I miss Regal. I really do. The Hook thing was overhyped and good, but nobody. Okay, all right, different opinions, all good. Lots from last night. Yeah, I agree. There was. Hook, Matt Riddle's manager for MSK was great. Okay, Jeff, what was your number 2?
All right, my number 2 and number 1 are going to be more. They're not going to be wrestling moments, in-ring stuff, that kind of thing. So I'm just going to preface by saying that my number 2 is a lot of the wrestlers and the people that think logically, seeing all the support for Jeff Hardy. That was my number 2. Seeing how people really rallied around him and were tweeting support, posting support, remembering old matches, that kind of stuff. That's aside from people talking about where he should end up next, people actually showing genuine love and support, and seeing his peers, the people he's wrestled with against in various promotions, all sending their positive energy and thoughts to him. So that was my number 2 of the week.
Great stuff. Briscoes versus FTR. Another great moment. RK Shuttlesworth. Yeah, that whole thing last night was amazing. Women's War Games match was number 2. You read the socials and you read Bleacher Report and all that kind of stuff, which I do on a daily basis. You couldn't help but not notice this and not, notice what happened. And Big Dan mentioned it. Liv Morgan. Listen, I've been a fan of Liv Morgan since I've been watching WWE, and she deserves everything she gets. She seems like she's fought a lot to get where she did and where she is. And the fact that she had a match against Becky and completely showed out, and it took Becky cheating to beat her, pretty much says where they're going with that. And boy, oh boy, you got to think now that Liv Morgan either is going to maybe win the Rumble and maybe get a choice of who she wants to face, or she will just end up having a rematch with Becky at some point, and maybe that's WrestleMania. But can you imagine the fans that are going over? I mean, man, Liv Morgan got her own. She got her own Miz girl. Liv Morgan got her own Miz girl. I mean, she got and then I posted that too. Life is really a circle. Bray Wyatt was absolutely correct. Life is a circle. It just goes around and comes around, doesn't it? And you have Miz girl, and now you have Liv girl. Listen, good for her. Really genuinely someone that is very easy to support, and very easy to get behind, because she always kind of seems like she's an underdog. And the fact that she went up against Becky Lynch and took her to a limit, and Becky had to cheat to beat her. And you could see the emotions and stuff like that, pictures and stuff of her after the match is over and things. So great showing for her. And we wish her nothing but the best. And I hope that she does get that WrestleMania moment, and the fans will celebrate with her, which you can see how much the fans are behind her. So amazing stuff. So that's my number 2. Let me see what else we've got in the chat here. Xia Li finally showed up on SmackDown. Yeah, she had a bunch of thunderbolts.
Oh yeah.
She was like the goddess of thunder, or Electro, coming out with all the bolts coming out of her hands and stuff like that. It was kind of cool. C says Liv versus Becky is number 1. Xia Li's debut is number 2. Grayson Waller attacking Gargano at number 3. Of course, yeah, that's after the whole thing where Johnny made his big speech. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, Jen Carter. How are you? Number 1, fans and stars showing Liv Morgan support after her loss to Becky. Liv's got to win the Rumble at Mania or put the title on her now, says Sean Aker. All right, number 1, Jeff, go ahead.
Number 1, we've been talking about it a lot, and I have to go back and see this. But number 1 for me is the fan support, the fan unity, and the nostalgia of seeing all of the folks who used to be in Ring of Honor all come back to support on social media, and it was such a great day seeing how many people were tweeting or posting about how they were going to watch Ring of Honor. Whoever got them into Ring of Honor, what year they started watching, all these different posts. It was just great to see. And that was before the event. So, I can only imagine that once I'm able to see it, not just a few clips here and there, it's just going to blow me away. So without even seeing it, I'm going to say the support from the fans and the unity from the fans, but then also seeing the people like Moose and, I saw something from CM Punk and other people, it's just seeing all of that just brought back some great memories. It was just great to see all of that.
My number 1's very similar. I'm gonna say the same thing. I was just gonna say the whole ROH show last night, the send off that they got, and the way that they spoke about their fans. It was really a celebration of their fans. Mm-hmm. They know some of these people so personally that they name them they call out their names. There are a few guys that were there that the announce team was naming that, hey, so and so is here, and it was just. It was like Conrad described it perfectly when he said it was happy and saddle at the same time. It was, but it was a celebration of a company. And yeah, Jeff, when you watch the whole thing, and you'll see they had vignettes from Eddie Edwards, had a great vignette. CM Punk, Bryan Danielson, the Young Bucks, Adam Cole, and many more, who came out and talked about their love for this company and how it got them started, or it led them to certain points of their career, and things like that. It really was a fantastic show. And like I said, guys, I wouldn't say, if you don't watch ROH, I completely understand that you'd be hesitant about it, but go and just check it out, because it's not very often that as wrestling fans you see things that are kind of like history-making events. This was definitely a history-making event, and it had some great wrestling too. So if you're just a fan of the genre, go check it out. And you could wait. I get it. Fight TV, that it's $25 or something like that. Wait until wait a few days, and it'll go down in price, and you can get it cheaper. But definitely go and check it out. You won't be sorry. And yeah, that was my number one of the week. And like I said, I liked it too because it brought the wrestling world together. It brought the wrestling world together. And even on Twitter and stuff like that, like Jeff was saying, and I get it, that they can't necessarily come on the show and do vignettes because they're not part of the open door thing that's going on. But the WWE people did too. They went out on their socials and stuff like that, and they tweeted about it and stuff. Yeah, they can't do the vignettes. I get it. They're probably not allowed, but they came out on their Twitter and they talked about it too. So, and a lot of them were mentioned. They got mentioned indirectly. So yeah, it was a great moment, and it was definitely my number one of the week. Let's see. ROH final was my number one, says Chris. Angry Liv Girl versus Angry Miz Girl. WWE make this match happen. Maybe in about 10 years or so. Maybe they will. Maybe they will. The Bunny attacked by Soho. Seth versus KO cage match. And Becky versus Liv, says Gust. Without Ring of Honor, some people wouldn't. You are absolutely right. Wouldn't be around. Wouldn't be doing what they were doing. Only thing I was disappointed in about ROH Final Battle was what Danhausen didn't get his blimp. Yeah, Danhausen wasn't there. I was kind of hoping he would be. I imagine he was probably there backstage, of course, but he has the injury and stuff like that. So it's a shame wish we could have seen him in the ring. He was a big part of that over the past few months. So would have been great. Honor Club is cheaper every month, I think, and you can watch it there. Yeah, you're right. RK Shuttlesworth, absolutely. I wish Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Kevin Owens had been able to do tributes via video. Yeah, Big Dan, I know. You were talking to me about that, and I knew it wouldn't be allowed. That's just not WWE's way, and whatever, it is what it is. So there you go. There's our top three. A lot of you guys were agreeing with us. So, yeah, there you go. Briscoes and FTR was a favorite moment. Yeah, it was pretty cool. Kind of really unexpected. Really unexpected. But Tony Khan had come out and said that he was doing some things for the ROH event. So that was probably one of the things he was talking about doing. So, yeah, that was very cool. It was very cool. Okay, moving on, Jeff.
All right, let's get to the lighter side of the ring.
Let's do that. Lighter side of the ring. Oh, man, this was priceless. And we talked about this with Hernandez on the interview and stuff, too. We did a watch-along for this. And what I was shocked about in that interview was when he told us when they filmed this. And they filmed it in, what did he say, a day and a half, or was it 2 days? Over 2 days that they filmed it. That's insane. Yeah, that is absolutely insane. But this was great stuff. I love how Impact does these things, and I love how they have athletes that can do stuff like this, along with being a wrestler and doing the wrestling stuff and the in-ring stuff and the promos. They can come together and do this stuff, which is pretty much like an extended comedy routine almost. It's kind of almost like a wrestling SNL skit in a way. And it really shows what talent these people have. And it's pretty impressive. A lot of times you get people saying, oh, man, this person can't do promos to save their life. They need a mouthpiece. Look, maybe they're just not being utilized for things that they can do, and maybe they can do these things. And I love it that Impact allows them to do these, because it gets people, and Hernandez, we talked about this with Hernandez too, and Hernandez agreed. It gets people that normally aren't on TV every single week to be spotlighted in something that, in this respect, it was an entire show. It was a 2-hour show, well, 1.5 with commercials, but it was a 2-hour show. That was an extended promotion, basically, with some wrestling in there. So I absolutely loved it. Jeff and I sat here laughing. Listen, when you can do something in wrestling that literally sits and makes you laugh for an hour and a half, you've done your job. And I absolutely love this. I hope they keep it going. I hope they keep it. Next year, if they want to keep doing the theme and stuff like this, and of course this was a Thanksgiving special, go Wrestle House 3 and do the promo as in 3D. Because they used to do that all the time when they would do something part 3 in the 80s. It was always a 3D movie. 3D. So Friday 13th part 3 in 3D, Nightmare on Elm Street 3 in 3D, Jaws 3 in 3D. So do Wrestle House 3 in 3D and just do something goofy with that. So there you go. If they use that, I want credit. We don't get credit for the whole insiders thing. I want the credit. So you heard it here first. If they do that, I want credit. Scott D'Amore, did you hear that? If you use that, I want the credit for it. I want insiders getting the credit for that title. So, but I loved it, Jeff. I know you enjoyed it too.
Oh, yeah. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. Hernandez in it was great. We didn't get a chance to ask him about the outfit that he had to put on. But, we talked about a lot in that interview. So, no, it was good. And then obviously – Swinger being at the center of it mostly was just fantastic. So, I really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it. Can't wait till the next one.
Yep, absolutely. It was great stuff. Wrestling, I think, needs more of this too.
Yeah.
Sometimes they take themselves, I think, a little bit too seriously, and sometimes I think you got to inject that humor a little bit into things. WWE has their own guys, R-Truth, and they have that whole 24/7 thing, and they had Reggie doing it for a little while, and you've got Paul Heyman. I remember when Paul Heyman, that had to be one of the highlights of the year when Paul Heyman came down and did the Cena theme and was singing Cena's theme. That was absolutely tremendous. They do it more often. Do it more often. Don't take yourself so seriously all the time. Do it more often. Make people laugh. They'll appreciate you for it. Hey, especially on a 3-hour show on a Monday night, sometimes that gets a little laggy. You get some great stuff at the beginning, some great stuff at the end, and it kind of lags in the middle. Make people laugh. Do something funny. Let our truth be our truth. You've got the perfect guy to do that on that show. But yeah, it's great stuff. Hey, Brittany's back. What's up, Brittany? First hour of Final Battle is free on ROH's YouTube channel. All right. There you go. So see, the whole pay-per-view was great. I agree, Warren. I absolutely agree. Wrestle House, please no fanny pack opening the refrigerator this time. LOL, says Chad. It was cool to see how Hernandez and Swinger said that they're close. They're good friends. They travel together and things like that. That's awesome. That's awesome. Now I got Paul Heyman stuck in my head when he was going, doo, 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 doo. Yeah, that was great. Oh man. All right. Well, there you go. I haven't seen Jesse.
No.
So I maybe Jesse's not here tonight. That's fine. Look, she might have things to do. So we'll put a shout out, Jesse, if you happen to be listening or watching or whatever. Now is the time. But if you're not here, perfectly okay. Everybody sometimes has stuff going on and things to do and stuff like that. We completely understand if she's not here.
I'll put this up too while we're.
Yes. Listen, we're only 13 days away. 13 days away from Christmas. That's unbelievable, by the way. It's so hard to believe. Also, speaking of which, I'm going to start getting together a poll to send out to you guys. We're going to probably going to have 10 awards for our TIG show this year. So that's coming up in January. It'll be after the Impact pay-per-view. But don't forget that's coming up. So our end of the year awards, which we call the TIGs, which what that means is this is good shit awards. So we will be having those.
Dang, I was late on the censor. Just playing. No.
It's all good.
No.
It's all good. But yes, this is so they will be coming. We'll have awards for 10 different categories. I'll get them out in the poll. You guys vote. Make sure you vote. Get your friends to vote. Have as many people vote as you can, and we will tabulate them, and they will be as they have always been. They are your awards, and we will announce the winners that you guys have chosen for all of the different categories from this year, the year of 2021 in wrestling. So we will announce your winners. Jeff and I will pick our winners, and we might have the rest of the crew if Tazzy joins us, if Jody joins us. We may have everybody give all their opinions on that as well. We had it in January, Gus, and then we had a mid-year award show too, which we did a little bit later than we wanted to because we had other things going on. That was in August. So, but yeah, we do an end of the year one too. So we will have that coming up. But yes, as you can see up on the screen, we have our own merch. Right in time for Christmas. Right in time for Christmas. Who wouldn't want an Abbey Mania shirt? Who wouldn't want an Insiders Pro Wrestling shirt? Who wouldn't want a Shenanigans shirt? A Shenanigans shirt? Come on, man. You gotta love it. Hit it up. There's the address. Go on there, order your own merch. And you know what? I'll even go so far as to say this. If you order your own merch and you show it, right? You show it. Send us a picture. Throw it up on Twitter. Throw it up wherever. Put it in, send it to our email, whatever. And I will say that we will feature it. We will put your picture up somewhere in this area of the show. We will put your picture up on the show. So if you bought anything from our shop, show us it. Send your picture in, and we will put that up on here instead of these two random models that we have up there now. We will use you as models. So there you go. So Teespring, make sure you check it out. https insiders-pro-wrestling.creator-spring.com/.
Yes. A lot there, but
Or just do what I do and copy and paste.
That's it.
Copy paste. There you go. Shots. Did someone say shots? Oh no! Don't start. Don't you start, Tazzy. Don't you start. Good night, Chris. So yeah, it doesn't look like Jesse's around. Always good. C says Brittany making sure she's not missing the shot party like we could ever do without her. Yeah, that was the insanity that was Abby's a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I was watching.
The night that things got really raunchy.
They certainly did. Abby's went X-rated that week, or very close to it. So yeah. Well, listen, it's good that you enjoy the show. And listen, God bless Jeff and Jody. It's hard to do a show about a guy that's really not doing anything right now. So it's tough to talk about Mr. Wyatt, Mr. Wyndham, when he's not really doing much. He's filming his movie, or things kind of behind the scenes that we can't be privy to. So yeah, sometimes it's hard to do that. Calynn Corner, number one, biggest joke of the night, Jesse Calynn. Totally MIA. But we have her biggest critic here in the chat. Abby's went raw. Yes, it did. All right. Well, we won't keep you. Jessie is wherever she is. She missed. That's okay. It's all good. So there you go, guys. Another episode of our weekly wrap-up show. Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much to all of you who came out to listen to the Hernandez interview. I'm working on trying to get some more of those. We definitely will have Zicky Dice coming on the show at some point in time to talk about his upcoming pay-per-view that he's got coming in January, which is another one we're going to be doing. We'll let you know as the details arise on where we're going to be doing that. It might be a Twitch-only exclusive first, and then we might send it to YouTube after. But don't forget about that. It's looking like a great show. Dalton Castle's going to be there. Taya's going to be there for her first match back in wrestling. So some cool stuff on Zicky's pay-per-view. But we will have him coming on to talk about it before that does happen. So he'll be back with us in an interview. We had him on the show once before. And there are some other names we're trying to work on to get on the show as well, because Jeff and I really enjoy doing those interviews with the wrestlers, and we want to get those out to you guys. We love doing them. It seems like you guys enjoyed the one with Hernandez, so we want to keep doing that as well, because that's fun stuff. So that is it, guys. So again, don't forget tomorrow. Abby's is canceled for tomorrow. Jody does have to work. She was in the chat before, so hello, Jody. But she does have to work tomorrow, so no Abby's tomorrow. Hopefully it will be back again soon. And then, of course, for the rest of this week, we have Impact Wrestling on Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which we will definitely have that. We'll have after the Impact, as you can see up on our screen. And then the Saturday thing, we'll let you know. We'll let you know. I do know that there is a pay-per-view. That's that throwback pay-per-view, and I'm really sad that I can't see that one. But my geek hood won over, so I'll be watching it afterwards for sure, because I definitely want to see what that's all about, because that's kind of right up my alley, being the big 80s guy that I am. But we'll let you know. We'll let you know what's going on with that. Maybe we'll figure out a way, or we'll figure something out. We'll let you know. Just keep watching our channel, and then of course next Sunday we're right back here, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, to talk about the week that was in the world of wrestling. Follow Brittany K. Following her is a yowie wowie experience. There you go. Yeah, Brittany got to meet some celebrities. I saw it. Brittany gets to meet a lot of people from The Walking Dead, which is really cool. I love that show, and she goes to a lot of those conventions and meets up with people from the show. Good stuff. All right, that's it. So from Jeff, from myself, have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy everything there is to enjoy out there. Again, be kind to each other, please. Listen, and like I said, take that 10 seconds. Take that 10 seconds. If you're really interested in posting something, count to 10. And by the time you get done with 10, make sure it's something you really wanted to post and really wanted to put out there. Hopefully we will see you all again for our next show that we do. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe if you haven't done so already. We'd really appreciate it. Make sure you throw a like up on the video tonight as well. And also make sure you hit that notifications button to be notified when we have future content. And make sure you comment in the comments 2 things. 1, who you would like to see us do Book a Wrestler for. And 2, God, what was the other thing? Was that the only thing there was? That might have been it. So, yes, make sure you comment in the comments about who you'd like to see us do Book a Wrestler for. Yes, I think that was it. I'm losing my mind. It's very late, and I'm very tired now. So that's it, guys. Have a great night. Stay safe, and hopefully we will see you all again very, very soon. Good night, all.